Fine. My you. All right. You already know. It's your boy. Uh. So what we got right now is called the elevator. I have a feeling this is gonna be just like the what is it, the one in the train station or whatever. We like spot the differences, or at least that's what I'm expecting. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not gonna lie. Um, aside from that, um, I'm not really gonna do too much dwelling. I still have some work to do because I gotta put the rest of those, because I ended up getting the rest of those Nismo arms. I did the front and I need to do the back, and I have a feeling the back's gonna take a while. So yeah, again, we're just gonna jump right into the game and what do you call it? When I get done, I gotta hop off with the quickness, so I can, what do you call it? Go get this, get that knocked out, or I'm gonna try to do the 3 arms up top and then do the lower control arm dead last, just in case, because that's a ball joint and that kind of takes some effort. But yeah. And then also gotta like try to like match up like where all my, what do you call it, are, and just doing the most. Um yeah, I gotta match up where everything is, because that's where all of the stuff is gonna be like adjusted, because they're gonna be all cam bolts. And yeah, I gotta make sure that I keep that like as straight as possible, because I am not trying to huh? Let's turn it. Oh, I can just do that. We'll go a little bit under half, because I feel like a lot of these games lean hella loud. Options. What else is there? VSync. We'll see if that does anything. Graphic quality. Cinematic. Let's see if my computer can handle it. Windowed full screen. I mean, it's already full screen. Frame limit 60. Language, English. Mouse sensitivity, volume. We'll see what's going on. Whew! Today was too hard. If I had to take the stairs in my current state, I'd rather be dead. Yeah, I'd be like that sometimes. Where I lived before, I almost died because there was no elevator, even though it was a 4-story building. Damn, bro. Come on, bro. Get some fitness. I may have borrowed some money, but I'd still rather live in a place with an elevator. Actually, 4 floors every single day does sound exhausting. I'm like just now getting back into, oh, we're Korean. I'm just now getting back into like riding a bike to and from work. I say back into. I have literally never done this, but I'm getting into riding a bike to and from work because and the way I'm thinking is the money I save on gas is the money I can use on car parts, right? You know what I'm saying? There's some small stuff, you know, if I'm spending like $150 a month on gas, driving all up and down everywhere and all that stuff, if I can knock like 100 off of that, you know, that's like a tank and a half. I can, you know, I can get a pretty decent amount of stuff like, you know, in like a month or two, you know. Or using like a little extra, you know, on things I can stretch for. But yeah. I may have borrowed some money, but I'd still rather live in a place with an elevator. Room 401 is a bit ominous, but I mean, is it? Is there something about, I know like 4 is not a not lucky number, but the whole floor is 4th floor. You could be room 404, you know? But 401, I don't see what that's all about. Is that might be like a specific Korean thing. Anyway, let's get back home and dive into bed, deadass. 102. Oh, this place is tiny. I guess I'll just set that down there. Bing. Damn. Is this trying to say that if you lean up against this, you could, in theory, just fall through the fucking door? Oh, that's the sound. And it was already on the 4th floor. Why'd the light turn off? Oh. That's probably why. 4. Oh, dang. This thing goes to 8 floors. Yeah, that's crazy. No wonder this thing has an elevator. But it looks like there's only like 2 rooms per floor. So this is like a super skinny ass building. Oh, dark ass. Just a mind. Damn. I passed out as soon as I got home. Yep. Even if work is so hard, I have to remind myself of the mortgage I took out to buy this house. Damn! What? Still, it was nice to have a my home. That's fair. We must be in like Seoul. Oh, okay, guess not. I guess this is not one of those spot the difference games. I think this is literally just, I feel like low-key this is just going to be one of those things where like, okay, you keep going through it, there's different jump scares. Because there's nowhere to run or nothing like that. So today I got my ass kicked by team leader. I did a mistake, but it was not that big a deal. Deadass. Also, I'm pretty sure that said that a big deal. Uh, no, it's a waste of my life to think about him, even if I got off the office. Yeah, don't bring work home, basically. I'm feeling bummed out today. Gonna go grab a beer. So wait, are we leaving? Nope. Maybe he just means I'm gonna have a beer. I'm seeing this tall as hell. Might be somebody getting off. Nope. This looks empty. The hell? Bruh. What's it trying to say? I don't get it. We gotta get off? Damn, looks like I'm taking the stairs. It says it's packed up, but no one's in there. Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. That shit's broken. I need to walk up the stairs. Yep. That's tough. Damn. Oh, it has automatic lights? This is nice. 4 floors is ass, bro. This would get your thighs burnt. Not you following me up here. Bitch ass. She just did that shit to tease me. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. It still went up to the 4th floor after I did that shit. What the hell was that? Is it just a malfunction? I mean, yeah, probably. Suddenly, an urban legend, which I heard in my childhood. Damn. Oh. Popped into my head. Even no one is in, but it says overcrowded and beeps. Then you're taking the elevator with Ghost. Oh, okay. I felt creepy and spooky. I rubbed my goosebumped forearm and awkwardly laughed, thinking it couldn't be. It's just an ordinary elevator, but it feels creepy. It's also way too new. Like, usually it's like old decrepit things that makes you feel like, oh, it might be haunted, but except for, what is that movie? Devil? I had the stupid idea to just take the stairs, even a working elevator right in front of me. I'm sure it's because of that stupid childhood legends, ghosts, bullshit. I'm too old to believe that kind of thing. The rareness of my flesh was greater than the terror that blossomed in my mind. It really be like that sometimes. I'm too tired to be scared. Also, the crazy part is it doesn't even show that it's overcrowded once it comes, like, on the way down here. It doesn't have, like, the, hey, this is at its limit. But it said it when as soon as I got on, which is some bullshit. Doesn't say anything yet. The disrespect. This elevator's just an asshole. That's crazy, bro. That shit said, nah. Nah, bro. You ain't getting in. He said, chill. He said, yo, chill out. Come on. Not on my floor. On my floor is crazy. Oh, no. He's saying it to himself, chill. I'm like, I would have been like, bro, chill out. I just want to go home. Oh, man. No need to freak out. They thought about to be connected by the management office. Yeah. Man. Hey, bro. Can you open the door for me? Ain't nobody at work. Man. Come on, man. Okay, thank you. Maybe he just saw that it was stuck. Bam. My heart raced in terror for a long time. Okay, dude. Funnily enough, my fear wouldn't even be that, like, oh no, it's haunted. It would have been like, oh shit, this thing's gonna fucking fall. With shaky hands, I immediately called the apartment management. I barely swallowed the words, the elevator is haunted. A few minutes later, a grim-faced facilities manager knocked on the front door. He said he took the elevator a few times as a test and didn't have any issues. I recounted the symptoms I experienced and pleaded to call in a vendor to take a closer look. He said he understood, but it's clear from his demeanor that he'll try to pretend it didn't happen. Yeah, exactly. Damn. So they're, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be that different, but Japan, they be doing that shit all the time. I'm sure it became a trauma. I couldn't even get into the elevator at work. Damn. I couldn't tell anyone about this. Damn. I can't take the elevator because I'm afraid there's ghosts in there. There's no way I can say it. Let's take the stairs. Mama didn't raise no bitch. Okay, I guess Mama did raise a bitch. That's crazy. He's gonna let it win like that, bro? Damn. This is why we need windows. So you won't have to have fucking pitch black darkness for your automatic lights, bro. Because this shit does take a second. You at least got this thing. Thankfully, like, when it's super dark like this, there's no... Damn, my lights are on. That ain't got shit to do with me. Did it just get mad? Nah, bitch. Nah, you're not gonna deny me getting on 2 times and then reluctantly let me go and then get mad when I don't even try. I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking because I'm not trying to get canceled. Did it just get mad because I didn't take the elevator? Am I losing my mind? Fear kept my brain from working properly. I'm not kidding. I need to meet the shrink. Damn. Hey, so I'm going to therapy. That is so not Korean. Are we, maybe we foreign? I lived my whole life as a non-religious person. Damn. I've never believed in the tarot cards, fortune telling, or anything else. I thought heaven, hell, angels, demons, and ghosts were all fantasy. Then what the hell is happening to me right now? You just a bitch, that's all. Ah, mama still raised a bitch, that's crazy. What's that shit? It's gonna open. It's at 3 right now. Or is it just gonna open when we get to 3? It's gonna be like, come on, man, just 1 floor. Just 1 floor, I'm sorry. It's crazy. Damn. Whatever. Ah, that shit broken. I can't even click on my shit. Am I supposed to click on this? What the fuck? Bro, what am I supposed to do, dog? This shit on fire? What the hell am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go to the 3rd floor and then get in it? See, this is the part that, like, is the disconnect for me in games like this. They don't have any reason. Like, they don't give you any reason to do anything. You know what I mean? Oh, damn it. Like, they don't give you any reason to, like, change up your behavior. So if I walked all the way up to the top, or not to the top, but, like, if I walked all the way up to my floor in order to, we're literally on the 2nd floor. Whatever. What an asshole. You going to the 4th floor? Thanks, homie. Is this your way of saying sorry, bro? apologizing. But like there, so the only reason why I went back downstairs is because I know that the game is like, okay, well you got to do extra shit. Okay, how you gonna have me get in here and then start acting up? Not my boy being afraid. Man, man, bruh. So he can't have shit. But yeah, but anyway, what I was getting back to until this thing decides to change itself. Oh, who is it? Who is it? I'm trying to let you in, big dog. It's not working. Maybe if I hit 3. The fuck you want? The fuck you want? What you want? Bro, come on, dog. Come on, man. You holding up the fucking line. I'm trying to go home, bro. No. What? What? So, okay. Let me get this straight. Day 1, I get on. Everything's fine. Day 2, I try to get on. And then you try to you call me fat. You fat shamed me. And I had to take the stairs. Number 3, I try to get on. You close the door on me. And then you're like, oh yeah, I'm playing. And then you let me on. Fourth time, well, fourth time I do just like you literally like, because actually no, the third time you let me on and then you're like, oh, I'm just playing. And then you start fucking up. Don't let me off on my own damn floor. Then the fourth time, I don't take you, and now you mad. Fifth time, for some reason, I can't even go through my own door. That was the thing I was talking about before. Like, why? Just, like, why can't I just open my... Like, if I feel like if you're already at your door, like, something should have happened that kept me from going to the fourth floor. Or even, like, what really should have happened is the moment I got to the third floor, the door should have just opened. Which is what I expected it to do on the third floor, but it didn't do that. So I ended up going all the way up to my floor. Nothing was interactable. And then I had to walk back down to not even the third floor, the second floor. And then it let me go. Anyway. Unless I walked up too far, but like my door didn't light up either. But you do all of that. And then you force me to get on the elevator. And then you beat my ass, bro? Like, come on. You just gonna whoop my... Literally, you just wanted me to get on so you could beat my ass. That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. This dude, this is not a haunting. You just have beef with an elevator. And the elevator's winning. When I came to my senses, I was already in the hospital. Like, yo, it really just beat your ass. My neighbor found me passed out in the elevator and called 911. I went straight to the shrink after I got out of the hospital. I talked about what was going through, got counseling, and was prescribed medication. Damn. And then I put the house on the market right away. Deadass. At a price lowered by tens of thousands of bucks that I paid. So that's like thousands of... That's hundreds of dollars. Because if it says bucks, but I'm assuming it means won. And 10,000 won is $10. Am I tripping? Yeah, because I remember having 1,000 won note, and that was basically $1. Because I remember the way we were thinking when we were in Korea, it was like, because we came from Japan, so we're like, oh, you just have to add a zero. You have to add another zero. Instead of just two zeros, you got to add three zeros. Which means tens of thousands of won is like a few hundred, like 30, $40. Maybe it meant actual US dollars. The new owner showed up quickly. Yeah, of course he did. His face is bright all the time as if he thought he had acquired a good house at a low price. I didn't say a word to him about what happened to me. That's illegal in Japan, I'm pretty sure. I was just mentally ill, so I was hallucinating and hearing things. Oh, no kidding. There are no ghosts. Damn. So we the new guy? I feel very good. I bought a house near my workplace for a few $1,000s less than the surrounding market price. I was lucky. Coincidentally, I happened to be looking at real estate nearby. Otherwise, it would have been sold to someone else in an instant. Yeah. I couldn't figure out why the previous owner was in such a hurry to sell the house and leave. A real estate agent said he left because his chronic illness got worse or something. I mean, technically that is what happened. Or at least that's what he was told by the doctors. It's nothing to do with me anyway. It's about to be. So we don't just have beef with the elevator. The elevator has beef with our room. Already, bro. Oh, is that just supposed to say that it's like still going? SFX security door, metal door knocking, radio static. Epic Games. Damn, that game was way shorter than I thought. Thank you for playing. Your support is a source of keeping me going. Please stay tuned for my new game. Oh. Oh. Okay. So maybe this is like him trying to get into it. I mean, other than the discrepancy in my head, but this is like common in horror games, especially because like most horror games I feel like are indie games. So this is like one of those things that like I feel like a lot of horror games they do good in like the overarching story. Like where like if you were to take a horror game, most horror games that we play, I don't know why I did that. No spit. But most horror games that we play, you have like really good overarching story. Where like if this was like a Reddit story, people would be like, "Wow, that was kind of creepy. That was good. That was a good story, right?" Or like like campfire stories. Like these are good as stories, but when you try to make it into a game, there's like small details that a lot of times they miss because when you write a story, you wouldn't you wouldn't say that I walked all the way up to my room and then inexplicably walked, instead of trying the door, I inexplicably walked back down to the third floor and then the elevator opened. Now, granted, it could have just been that the game was being really slow and it just didn't register the first time I went through. But the fact that it wasn't until I got up to my room that that red thing turned on, and then I was able to walk down, and the third floor, like the elevator opened on the third floor. Like, why would I have done that? Now, granted, you know what? I should probably look it up. Let's see. We'll take, because your boy doesn't know any Korean at all, and I've tried to learn the writing system, but I forget every time because I literally just don't use it. So we're gonna write out what it says. They write left to right, right? Bop, 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 bop. That's already looking crazy. Bop, 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 bop. bop, 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 bop. Okay, so that is what I thought it was. It's literally just a fire extinguisher. So like, why did that light turn on? You know what I mean? Like, does that light only turn on under certain circumstances, or what? Because that's why I asked. Because I saw like it was like it almost looked. I think it was really just a trick of lighting, the way that like the light of the elevator was like seeping through the cracks in the door. Because I think that they actually did model this. Actually, I think they modeled the elevator shaft, and the light from the thing was able to come through the doors because they're movable, and so they have like the amount of space that they have, the light's coming through. Um, and that's why I could see it from the other side. But because of the way that the stainless steel or whatever is, it was like because if you can see like under the four, you can see how it's like kind of like it's given a blur effect because it's supposed to be like sheen, and that on the bottom side made it look like it was like steam or smoke. And I was thinking, huh, what is that? I thought it was supposed to be like fog, and like the door was gonna open and then like something was gonna come out. That's why I was like, is it on fire? Because that plus the fact that the fire extinguisher thing is on, I was like, oh, maybe there's a fire. But like, it didn't do that. So unless there's some reason, unless something about, and even then, like maybe this is something that like Koreans would see, and they'd see that the light is on and they would immediately try to go downstairs. Like that's supposed to be like, is that supposed to be like their version of the fire alarm? Because the other thing is, it didn't make a sound. I don't know how Korean fire alarms are, but looking at it, it looks like it has a speaker on it, which means that I would expect that if you went and it was supposed to be like, hey, fire, it would make a sound, and that would tell me, oh shit, we're evacuating the building. You know what I mean? But the fact that it didn't do that means that like I don't see why I would have walked down the stairs unless that's a common Korean response. Or even if they could have done something where the dude makes a comment and he says like where you like say you walk up to the door, and then like it does like a kind of slow like a slight little cutscene where he looks, because like it did when I got off, when it said that it was overweight, he looks back and he focuses on the light, because I didn't know what those characters meant, and like it could have done that where it's like he's like it says that it's overweight and there's nobody on it. That made me go, okay, I see what that is, because I thought it just meant error, you know. But then for this, if he looks at it when you go to try to like open your door, and he goes, the light's on but there's no alarm, I need to leave, I'd have been like, oh okay, now we're going back downstairs. But the only reason why I didn't stick around there for any longer is because I couldn't interact with anything. You saw that I tried to interact with my door, I tried to interact with the elevator buttons, and then I tried to interact with the fire extinguisher, and then it didn't let me click anything, so I just went downstairs. Just because I expected that, I was like, okay, well, I guess something's gonna happen when I go back downstairs. That was the only thing. I was thinking I was gonna end up going all the way down to the first floor. You know, like maybe I missed something that was interactable. That was my thought. You know, even though something changed, but I was like, I don't know why it changed. You know, so yeah. But that's just something that like I feel like a lot of horror games just don't really think about. You know, like there needs to be, especially for people that really like are trying to immerse themselves, there needs to be a why for any action that I do. If you're telling me that I need to go and mess with this doorknob first before I do anything else, then like I have to have a reason to try to go through that door. Like, you know, or like in this case, I needed to have a reason why I would go back downstairs, other than me as a player, in like almost like a meta way. I'm thinking, well, the game probably wants me to go downstairs, you know, just by virtue of there being nothing else to do, you know. But if this was a bigger game where there was more for me to explore or more for me to do, let's say a room full of stuff, I would be going through and clicking on random shit, you know? Or like the Psalm game. Like I didn't have any reason of all of the channels that was on that TV, the one with the scary face like was the most mundane. You know, like all the other things, it was like some news thing and it was talking about something. It was way too loud for me to have the patience to listen to it, so I was gonna do that last. Or not last, but I was gonna do that after the video thing. And I think I did, and then I was like, I don't understand it. Um, but like you have like the news thing. You also had like the series of videos, or actually it felt like a series of videos because I thought I was changing channels like to like more than like three channels. But like the fact that there was like a video of a guy like moving around and doing stuff, and I'm thinking like, oh, like there must be something at the end of this video, right? That's so much more interesting than the face. That was like the next channel over, and it was more interesting like than the bars that like think that just made noise or something like that. Um, but like if you're going to do something to where I need to pay attention to something or I need to interact with something that is supposed to be like the turning point about me doing something different to what I was doing before, there has to be a reason why I do something different. Like, you know, and in this game, they already did do that where you get on and then nothing happens, it's making a noise, and you try a couple buttons and then you walk off the elevator because it lets you click all the buttons and stuff. And the fact that nothing happened, I'm like walking out. But like even then, it showed the thing a little late, but it was a little more natural than me just walking into the dark and not knowing what to do because other players might have just gone up the stairs. You know what I mean? Because there's like, you know, unless you try to go up the stairs and then he says something, but like, you know, it's not the same as like the elevator where you have no choice but to get off. If once you've interacted with everything, you're looking for other stuff to interact with, and then when he walks out, he goes, "It's overweight," you know. But like with going into the room, you're like trying to find what to interact with. It's also dark, you know. If one of those things was like, for instance, the lights being on, and he commented on that difference, and then you're like, "Oh, I need to go downstairs." I feel like that's a little bit better, you know, especially when it comes to like things that are like, I guess you wouldn't really think that this is cultural considering it's like an emergency thing, but like I said, I have a feeling that in actual Korea that thing makes a sound if there's like some kind of fire detected, you know. um but yeah, like that's just like kind of my whole thing, is that it like ruins my immersion whenever like stuff like that happens, because I'm like, bro, why would I do this, you know? Or what reason do I have to do this? You know, you'll be lost in games sometimes. And I see it a lot whenever I see like because like I don't really watch streams, but I do watch like let's plays. The closest to like streams that I watch is like Queso's videos because they're almost like his whole, it's like his whole live while he's playing the game. But like and he doesn't really cut them. So uh in things like that, like I've seen it where he ends up going around in circles, like where sometimes like the thing that he needs to do is in an entire house, like an entire building, you know. So he'll be walking all around looking for something that he needs to be doing, and he just doesn't know what it is because it's different from the norm of the stuff that he was already doing. Like the game will set out like whatever task you're supposed to do, and there's one thing that's not quite related to the task that's at hand, you know. Like you're like, you know, you're doing something, you're supposed to cook something, or you're supposed to gather a bunch of figurines or something like that, and then you've gathered all the figurines and then nothing happens, and it turns out that you're supposed to interact with the fishbowl, like, you know, or you're supposed to walk past something that you really don't necessarily have to walk past. Then you do have to have, so the character or the world around you in some way uh indicates that you should be interested in something else that you need to be interacting with in order to progress. Like, you know, in there's so many things where you're like, you know, it's like, oh, you're supposed to walk through this building, but you're supposed to go through this one door, and it doesn't tell you need to go through that one door, you know. Like you would just be like, what's going on, you know. Like what is it? What's the game that I was playing? It's like one of the first horror games that I played where you're in that apartment and you're looking for old girl's brother. I think I went through and walked the entire building or the entire available building. And then it was when I checked the second floor. I walked into that one room, or I didn't even check the second floor. I think I tried to go to the second floor, and she was like, I need to meet her on the first floor. And at least that limited my options. And then I literally checked from end to end of the hallway, and it would have been like luck of the draw that I went to go check her room first, but I instead checked the other room first. But at least, I mean, even then, like that's not particularly perfect because one of the other things is that I wouldn't have known that I was supposed to meet her on the first floor if it weren't for the fact that like it said that because they did not say that in the dialogue. She was like, I'll check the floors, you know. Uh I'll help you check around the building, you know. But it's games like it's a lot of things that were like games will have like they're missing the why when it comes to like why you do certain things. And I think it's also partially because like scary movies do that too where if you'll like so many times it's like such a like universal thing now where you'll watch a scary movie and then you'll be like why did the character do that like why did you do that you know it progressed the story whatever it was that they did but it didn't it didn't have like there was no rhyme or reason of why she or he like in like certain like you know a lot of times it's like the main characters back in the day was like a she but you know why she went through this room or why she investigated such and such sound when she could have just run like you know or why did she check the closet you know things like that like that's like the you know like the old thing especially black people you already know but like there's so many things like that where there's just no why for an action that needs to be done in order to progress the story in both scary movies and in games. You just don't really get that part. And like I always wonder like why people don't think of that. Like I mean, I guess when I think about it, if you make a game and you already know how the game's going to go, I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that you just take for granted and you'll just assume that people like know what to do because you it already makes sense to you. Damn, now that I think about it, I'm looking at the what do you call it? And there's like blood in the elevator. I don't understand because that shit was not in the game, or at least it wasn't in the game when I played it. Yeah, no one took a picture of anything like that. Um, yeah. Let's see. Hit that uninstall and then hide this game. And then I'm gonna install the game that I'll play last since I think this one will be bigger than the rest of them. I think. Because it's got like trading cards and shit and like a bunch of achievements. So yeah, that'll be cool. So yeah, the next one we'll play tomorrow is Ghost Room because that one seems fairly simple. It also looks really good. Or at least like the what do you call it? The cover looks very good. Yeah, I'll go through Ghost Room, then we'll watch Disappear or well not watch, then we'll play Disappearance and then we'll hit up Don't Be Afraid on well, for me, Monday. Ooh, damn. I'm like checking the progress on this thing to see how fast it goes, and that shit was going real slow. So yeah, I'm not gonna wait on that. Yeah, I'm about to go and put these control arms on and or not control arms, but my suspension arms on and literally come back and crash. So yeah, until next time tomorrow. Bye.